Union podcast,
That was,
baby.
that was the moan.
The only podcast that considers the Country Bears film the height of cinema. I'm Rye Boy the Boy. This is Jason. Hello, mate. How are you?
So, what? You're what?
What? You got a
You're
question?
Rye Boy the boy.
Rye Boy the Boy.
Boy- oh, that's
from
right. You're all
that's from
boy. Yeah.
Half boy, all boy.
Also, if you're listening on Spotify, you hear the crunching. That is Tej. Hello, Tej.
Sorry, I was really hungry. I wanted to get. Hello, I'm Tej. I haven't had anything to eat today, so I'm having
This
Pringles.
is the breakfast of champions at 5 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay. While Tej is eating,
Yeah.
I just want
Yeah, I
to.
can talk. I can talk. Come on.
Before we get started,
Getting some fuel in me.
I just want to.
Game
acknowledge.
face. Come on.
I just want to acknowledge the custodians of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. So, as every
Shout out.
every podcast that I'm on, I always say that it's important to understand, acknowledge that we are privileged to come here every 2 weeks on stolen land that treaties have never been signed, sovereignty has never been ceded. Australia is the only country in the Commonwealth that hasn't signed any type of treaty with the First Nations people. And we come here every 2 weeks to do poetry, and we're very lucky to, gather here and tell our stories and express ourselves when so many First Nations people throughout history and up until this day have had their voices and stories silenced. And I also just want to acknowledge the Palawa people of Lutruwita, which is the First Nations people of Tasmania, where I unfortunately grew up.
Welcome, Tej, to the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you very
mate.
much.
Hungry
That was
boy.
beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a very good. Yeah, shout out
I'll say it again in a couple of hours when I'm seeing poetry.
to. What's the Palawa? people?
Palawa, which is the
They're like the Torres Strait.
Yeah, so the people of Tasmania, the First Nation people, the Palawa people, which is actually,
I don't even know that.
Yeah. I learnt a lot about the history of the Indigenous people of Tasmania when I was 21, 22 when I went to university because they never taught us in schools. But there was
It's going to sound really offensive, but when you said Palawa, I totally thought it was those aliens from Avatar.
Hey, you're not insulting me. I'm the one you're going to insult.
I'm not trying to insult anyone. They were
fine.
fucking gangster, man.
That's fucking James Cameron just stealing culture. James Cameron made Avatar, right?
I think so.
Yeah, he did.
Who gives a fuck
Dude's a
about
genius.
Avatar?
You can never trust anyone with two first names, man. They're crazy. Like they're gonna take over the world. That's like you're born with two first names, and you're going, oh, you know what? This is pretty tight. Like let's do genocide. Like we'll see what happens here.
Start off strong. Well, there's an actor called David Jason. He probably still is named that.
That's a shite name.
No. The thing is that his last name was, I can't remember his last. David Jason. What Jason isn't his proper last name, but in England, you have to. I think it's in the Actors Guild or something. You can't have the same last name as some. You can't have the same name as someone. So his name was David, and so he had to change it. So he called it Jason.
It's like wearing someone else's jersey.
Yeah,
you can't wear that same number.
Yeah, and so you had to change it, and then he called himself David Jason.
You could totally do like a .com thing where you pay people to change their name to good sounding actor names, and then when an actor's on the come up, you're like, hey, you can take this name for only $100 and we'll legally change their
We
name.
just workshop our new grind and grips off camera so no one steals it.
Those names are cool, but you know how Childish Gambino got his name? He chucked this thing into a Wu-Tang name generator.
Yeah.
That's more fun.
I did not
as
know
a
that,
name.
and that is cool.
Yeah, so
Cool.
Donald Glover and the Wu-Tang name generator is Childish Gambino. I remember doing that when I was 14 or 15 as well to figure out what my rap name was, and it was very shit. So I'm just like, well,
Do you remember?
yeah, it was Stereophonic Oddity.
That sounds like
That's too much.
It sounds like German synth pop sort of stuff.
Yeah, true.
Like
I don't know,
Kraftwerk or whatever.
Stereophonic
Yeah,
Oddity. It feels like I'd be going up and it'd be like, hello, my people. And I'm getting into some preachy shit. If you take God in your hands, you will go anywhere in life.
I'm Stereophonic Oddity.
I think it would slap in the 90s. I think you'd be fine in the 90s, but maybe, I don't know about now.
Yeah, now you need you need an asterisk in your name, an apostrophe. You got to have some emojis now.
Yeah.
Some people are coming in with emojis
I want
in
to
their
see
names.
the next the rising new rapper just have a look like a little emoji in there.
Oh, as soon as
little
it happens.
emoji. There you go.
I'm sure
Little
that
emoji.
exists already. I'm sure that it's a fascinating thing where you don't need to ever say someone's name out loud. You only know them online, so you can have
Little
whatever the
emoji.
fuck you want.
But you know, like what happens as soon as we start using emojis in like our names? Then we've now fucking come full circle to the days of hieroglyphs.
Oh, true.
Like the
We had the
Egyptians
emoji
had it
movie,
right.
so
Yeah.
you know the emoji movie exists. So there's on our way to a
That's
downward
the low,
spiral.
low point of cinema.
Yeah. No. What?
I thought the emoji movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard that like it's for children, but also like it's a good job. Like it does a good job of being like I watched like the Super Mario movie. And like it was very clearly catered towards children, but I was having a fucking blast with it as well. I was like, oh, this child's movie is very fun. It's child's movie.
I think I've only seen reviews on it because I haven't watched it. But I think the whole the idea of the emoji movie was just they were trying to be a bit more adult, like funny, but not adult jokes, but trying to be a bit more. We're not just for kids, but then not like. You're like, well, adults aren't going to enjoy.
They must have had like an eggplant and peach.
Yeah,
sort of
like,
joke in
like
there.
oh, you're gonna have a poop emoji joke, and the adults are like gonna go, oh, and the kids are gonna laugh.
I feel like I've met many an adult who will
I've fucking
fuck with
laughed
that
at a
shit.
poop joke.
Yeah.
Oh no! As soon as I said that, I'm like, well, Tej is definitely gonna laugh at a poop joke.
Yeah.
No, but like it was, but it's if someone goes, it's more that like, it's that forcing a joke, like, oh, well, look how stupid it is. Like, if you use a poop emoji in the right context, I don't know.
It's all about context.
I don't use I don't use emojis.
A well-placed poop
Much.
emoji. It really
Right.
changes.
I'm a
everything.
big believer in the emoji.
Oh, yeah.
You can't convey human emotion through text. You got to add a little spice to it.
See, I love using emojis, but I never like using the correct ones. Like I find like I scroll a couple of times
Yeah,
to
I
find
know. I
like
enjoy that
animal
sometimes.
ones that
Yeah.
like don't have like a little bit of something, but then like
A little bit of spice.
yeah, it also feels like you're putting in like a little bit of cold, a little bit of spice.
Yeah. Like,
Like, keep them guessing what you feel. Yeah.
I'm so sad to hear that your mum died and you have the smiley face that's upside down with the.
No, I'd said a dinosaur or something, just a brontosaurus.
Oh, yeah.
Just a brontosaurus, like they're both dead.
Tej, you've been going crazy.
Whoa.
Not even a segue.
Fuck the segue. I was watching a
No,
thing.
you've been killing it because we're talking about dead. No, anyway, that was a segue. You've been killing it, Tej.
You've been
kill-
on the grind, which we always talk about here.
Creatine grind.
During the comedy festival.
Hell yeah,
It's
baby.
been crazy. You've been on every single night somewhere. You've been running around.
More or less, yeah. It was a fun time. Comedy festival was. I was originally not meant to be in the country for it because my little sister's getting married at the end of the year, so we were meant to like fly out to India, but then the flights got pushed back to July.
Right.
So I was just like fucking. I had so much like I'm gonna have so much fucking FOMO. That I decided to just dive in and try and do as many spots as I could. I wasn't counting or anything. I just wanted to, like, it was
Saturate it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I've been going around, be like, oh man, I'm so stressed. It's like Jesus Trump. I don't know if I'm gonna memorize this next 5 minutes of jokes. And then like there's big comedians in the city being like, oh, 5 minutes? Can't fucking. We got 45 minutes, man. And I'll be like, oh, okay, no, I'm talking like I'm.
But also, that's your job to do that.
That
so
is it,
like,
yeah. You got booked probably last year to do this, so
Sorry.
I don't know. If
Very
I don't know if
rude.
we've ever had someone receive a call halfway through the show.
just
It's
unprofessionalism.
from Sydney, and I don't know what they're calling me about. I already gave back the elephant, man.
It shocks me when people actually answer their phone. The people like, I'm getting a call from an unknown number, and they pick up. Like, the fuck are you doing?
Oh yeah,
I do it.
I've never received.
I only
an
do
import-
it if if I know that I'm supposed to expect a call from.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, someone's like, this person's going to call you, but I don't like. They never give me their number. Like, this electrician is going to
Yeah.
call you or something. I'm
For
like,
sure.
okay, cool.
For sure.
I mean, if I saw my phone going off and it said Rye is calling you, I'd have to take it. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
How the
'Cause then
fuck did I
suddenly-
get my?
Because
my
it could
name
be
on
like
the
a
register?
Twilight Zone episode now.
If it said right, had Jason calling right now. You'd be like, oh shit!
What's going on?
How does it even happen?
So I pick up the phone and it's like the people in front of you aren't real. Like, it's like, oh no!
That's how it works though. If two people dial the same person at the same time, it comes both up. All right? Right? That's how it works.
I
Isn't
don't
it?
know how phones work.
That's how you establish a group chat.
Yeah.
All right, we got to
Ready?
coordinate.
3, 2, 1. Yeah.
It's not like a nuclear code where you got to twist the key at the same time.
We just sync our watches, and then in 3 days we're gonna call each other at this time.
Yeah, we've got a countdown. Yeah.
What has been the lowest point? Let's start with there, and we'll go up. So we'll make our way up to the top. Lowest point of this little run that you've done.
Lowest point. Fucking coming third yesterday, brother.
Shout out Slammalama Ding Dong.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well, just do
Slammalama.
better. Then you'll be fine.
I gotta do better, man. I gotta do better. Yeah. It was last night was fun. I think the lowest point was. It's not really like a lowest point. Like I wanted to do a lot of shows, but I didn't want to go to like a lot of the parties and shit that was happening for like the comics and stuff in the scene. And like I get like mad anxious when I'm in a crowd as opposed to like facing one.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah,
more
yeah.
comfortable behind them. Like
Yeah.
it's weird. Like I've been doing this for a minute, and like my body has just kind of just morphed into that person.
I think we can both relate.
Yeah, no, Have you
the
seen
same
memes?
sense. Yeah. This is why we run shit rather than just go to other people's nights, because like, yeah, I'm a nervous fucking wreck. But
Yeah,
if I'm running the show, yeah, it's fine. So,
That's why that's what you do with sound at Slammer. So you can just be in the corner.
Exactly.
Just let me just be up here.
I'd love to talk, but I'm busy.
Hell yeah. I was doing a gig at there's a place called Kicks. And it was a fantastic room. It was a great room. The guy that was running it was Waka Takashi, very funny comic. Takashi Wakasugi, I think. But anyway, it was at Kicks. It was like on the end of like Elizabeth Street, like corner of Elizabeth and Franklin. So like in that weird little corner in the city, and that place is like mad like Chinatown type vibes.
Yeah,
So a
yeah.
lot of the
I think I
people
know
in
the
the
area.
audience. Yeah, a lot of the people in the audience were like, Asian RMIT students, a lot of families as well. There was a couple of like, Caucasian people there as well.
Yeah.
It was a real motley, but like mainly Asian because that was like the neighborhood for it. And I was having a lot of fun with the set. But I remember I decided to take a risk and end on a joke, which is... It was like the premise of the joke is like I really love dancing.
Yeah.
I love dancing,
Yeah.
and I love like flash mobs. Like flash mobs are the best. Like impromptu choreographed dance that gets me hard, man. It's so good. And I was walking past like Carlton Gardens, and I saw some people what looked like the start of like a flash mob, and I got really excited.
I already know it. Yeah, already.
And then, like, it wasn't until 30 seconds in that I realized I was just doing Tai Chi with old Chinese
Yeah,
ladies.
yeah. There we go. There it is. Yep.
And like,
go.
it went about as you'd expect. Like the Caucasian people were laughing. I got like they were being polite. The hall was big, so like
Yeah.
it wasn't acoustically that was great. But I just hear like a aha, and then like just like a, and I'm like, whoa, should not have closed on that.
As a white person, I
was
approve. I must admit, like with one of the things I have with ADHD, coming to like watching comedy and stuff, it's kind of annoying because halfway through that joke, I knew what the punchline was going to be. And I'm like, well, do I laugh now or do I laugh? When the?
I think you laugh in the pre-designated area.
Yeah, because because the thing is, I want to laugh naturally, so I'm going to laugh when I realise the joke and I find it funny instead of going. I'll wait. Ready. There's a punchline. Oh, ha 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 ha. I don't know.
It's like you're like trying to like stop a sneeze or like get the sneeze out earlier. That's funny.
Have you had any distracting laughs that come up that like?
Or distractions in general.
Oh yeah,
but-
you got to
but-
call it out.
Yeah.
You got to call it out. Like if someone has like a really distracting laugh,
Yeah.
and it's getting to the point that like people are laughing at that voice as well. I think my instinct as like not just like a comic, but like as like a performer, that's like I have a responsibility to the people in the crowd. It's like, and I don't think there's like a right way or a wrong way. I'm the type of person that'll call it out and be like, you have a really unique laugh. But
Yeah.
like I'm all about empathy. I'm not looking to roast and shit. Like I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I can, but I leave that for like battle rap.
Your comment is it more like commenting on the situation more than roasting someone?
Just figuring out like what that person's story is.
Yeah.
Like if you got like a super unique laugh. I don't know. There's an anime that I really really love called One Piece.
Yeah.
And there's a
yeah.
lot of characters that have like a lot of characters. They have very unique laughs. Like Blackbeard has and like there's like another character like in the panels like ro 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 ro. It's like all these unique laughs. So I love like unique laughers.
Yeah.
It's fun to look at.
It's an absolute fucking gift to the world.
Yeah, it's the best.
Have you seen that clip? I think it was French or Dutch TV. They got a bunch of people on a talk show who all have unique laughs,
I did.
and they get them, and they get them all to laugh, and they're all just laugh. It's just like this vicious cycle because one person starts laughing.
It's like a perpetual motion machine.
Basically,
What the hell?
Everyone
Cracked it finally.
but then they just wheel out the freaks and then in front of a crowd. This is the only show we're allowed to
I think that's the trick now. I think I've just figured out a code. I got to find someone with a super unique laugh and just put them as a plant in all of my shows.
Oh yeah, shit.
Look. And then like
If you had a few, you could battle.
I'm
you could have
fishing
them
with
battle.
dynamite, guys.
I love it. We're just workshopping future stuff on this now. It's
A
good.
future scam.
No, I love it. We should probably talk about poetry as well, though. We don't have to actually.
We don't have to.
No,
it's
how
all
about we
poetry,
just let the
baby.
conversation flow and we'll see what happens, you know?
I do wonder with certain, you can kind of tell. I think with certain laughs, you can tell that like that is they can't help that. That's just how they do it. And then some, I think especially like middle-aged men have a it's the same way middle-aged men sneeze on a train, and they really make a whole big pullback and then release.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Are you guys big sneezers?
I am.
I am a little bit,
My
but on a
problem-
train, no fucking way. On a train, I'm keeping
I try
it
to
down.
stifle it. Sometimes my body, once upon a time, about 10 years ago, I sneezed and then I hiccuped at the same time. So my body has remembered that.
Sounds painful.
And so, it does. So every now and then
You sneeze, but then hiccup. What did you do? Just like
I like a part of me dies inside. Like it's so like. Yeah, I tend to sneeze like 5 or 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
And so I'll just, I know, sometimes I'll hiccup 3 of those 5 and my body's just like, just die already.
Yeah, it's
like I just,
it's like a nightmare.
it's like, I'm trying to kill you, but you're not like, it's not fun.
Okay.
I'm a sneezer in groups of 3s. You got your 5s?
Yeah.
Sometimes or more. I'm sometimes
shocked if it's
sometimes if
not
it's just
3.
one, it's very violent.
Yeah.
You know the trick to if you can feel a sneeze coming, but you can also kind of feel it leaving. The idea is to look at something really bright, and it kind of like contracts like the tear ducts.
That's
underneath your
what
eyes.
triggers me. Are you trying to sneeze?
No, it's like get the sneeze out, not like trying to suppress it.
yeah.
'Cause there's nothing
trigger
more
it, yes.
annoying to me.
Yeah,
than
I've
a
heard looking at the sun
sneeze
can make you sneeze.
unsneezed.
Yeah.
You sneeze at the sun? Your sun sneezer?
Oh, son sneeze.
Stun sneezer.
Yeah.
I don't sneeze at the sun.
Cool. I wouldn't sneeze at the sun.
I wouldn't sneeze at the
dream
sun
of
on
it.
a good day.
Yeah.
Not only
Someone
sneeze, I do
Yeah,
one of
there's a clip.
these.
There's
Someone
a
taught
funny
me,
clip
eh?
for us. Yeah.
Someone taught me, this probably doesn't work for everybody, but licking the roof of your mouth.
I was seeking that. I've heard that
Oh.
You
somewhere.
need to sneeze or you don't want to sneeze.
I was
You're
literally
like, this
doing
is
it while-
inappropriate. I'm a barista and I sometimes work with sandwiches. And if I'm like wrist deep in a chicken sandwich, I can't be I can't be sneezing right now. Get your tongue out. Which probably isn't great for the customers either.
If you're wrist deep making a
Yeah,
weird
it's like-
face, I don't want that. I don't want that violated sandwich, please.
I'm not going to rise violated sandwiches.
What's he put instead of mayo? What the fuck? Yeah, he's really. No, it's on the roof of my mouth.
Don't worry.
Tongue's on my roof of my mouth, man. Stop.
I've never sneezed while wrist deep into a sandwich.
Right. Well, you should experience it.
Is a sandwich or a baguette?
It's a sandwich. My point is though, like, you can tell that certain people are trying to get other people to notice. They're trying to get a reaction out of people around them when they're sneezing or when they're laughing. And I think it's especially middle-aged men. You can tell that like that's some gusto that you're giving it just to be like, I want to make sure that everyone understands that I'm in the room. Is everyone aware that I'm here? I want to make sure.
I find this joke funny. I'm going to let the whole room know that you.
A certain,
I don't know why they're all
certain
middle class.
the same
What?
way,
They're
like
trying to get noticed. It's like, excuse me, I have phlegm. Everybody in the room must know.
I am the phlegm man, and
That being said, I do feel like I
Call me
might
Ian
actually do
Flemings.
this. I do think I'm a
Bond
big
reference.
sneezer, and I think I'm also a big like if my back's a little bit out, I am one who's like, oh, all right.
Oh no, I am.
Oh, you got
I've
dad
been-
back
I've-
now.
I always thought that I was just old men being fucking pieces of shit doing that same thing and making sure everyone knows my back's a bit out. But
I've
now
been
I'm like,
making old man noises since like 21 years old. I've been
Okay.
just sitting down going, that's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah. I realised, 21, back fucked.
But I
making
do,
those noises.
I do think there is something. I do think there are people who are trying to get a bit of an attention.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna I'm gonna get a bad back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's by choice. You know, like I just really love.
I just got a quarry
Quasimodo.
slip.
You know, yeah, he was
I
really
ring
spoke to me
bells.
as a child.
I never use my legs when ringing the bells.
Where's my thick ass honey Esmeralda?
I don't think
Yo,
it wasn't the back doing it.
DTF? I live in a fucking bell tower, bro.
Swipe left if you don't like bell towers.
Who's against bell towers?
Yeah. Also, I may have a congenital back thing.
You might
It's
know.
like
You might,
these angles are super weird, Quasimodo.
I haven't looked at, but it's the 17th century. So what are you going to fucking do?
my best friend's made of stone.
All right, highlight. We've done the low light.
Highlight.
Low. What
There's a man with lots of phlegm.
man with lots
Man
of
with a
phlegm.
lot of phlegm.
Yeah. Yeah, you told the wrong joke at the wrong time in the wrong place.
Highlight. Yo, actually, last night, like I had like that.
You talk so much shit.
No, I know. It's so much fun. But like the real Tej inside, I was like shitting myself the entire time because like that first one, I was like, look, there's like a couple of small little gags in there, but I think I was like building that sort of little reputation of like someone that was coming in doing comedy style poetry.
Yeah.
And I think it was either Shy or one of you guys who was telling me like, yo, man, like if you want to like have a crack at the throne or something, like go off book, like make it a performance. So I was like, all right, fine. So I decided I timed myself because I wrote it like last week. I was like on my wit's end during comedy festival and I was like losing my mind. So I was like, let me just write it down. I had like a beat playing in the background and then like I just fucking write. And then like you go over it like one or two times just to make sure like, oh, does this rhyme sort of work? The rhyme that I really fucking liked, that really worked was like this 4-bar couplet that I was really afraid wouldn't actually land. It was it was like I guess I don't want to be known as a bumsy, but I'll egg on some walls like I'm Humpty, heart of a sprout, but I'm grown like a gum tree. These rhymes come from bedrock because this shit runs deep, and I'm just like, this is the first time I've ever felt like a rapper in a poetry room. Like, because as soon as it was coming out, I was like, yeah.
I did like the bedrock thing, and then most people were like, didn't say anything. I'm like, what are
Crickets
you
on
doing?
that
Like, also
Yeah.
for context, Slammer.
we should.
Yeah,
we should
Slammer
go
Lammer
on.
Ding Dong is a competition, is a poetry competition. You have 3 rounds, and Tej got to the 3rd round, and yeah, it's about that's sort of the context of
Yeah.
it. And it's usually, Tej did his thing.
But it's I
comedy
find
stuff
it fascinating space coming from because you started in comedy.
I started an improv.
Oh right, okay.
Like I was like I did like some theater shit when I was a kid. I was working in hospo on Chapel Street actually. Like I used to work. This was like ages ago. Like I used to hit up Blue Bar and shit on like the hip hop nights sometimes. But like I didn't have anyone in that sort of scene
yeah,
that much at around that time. This was like fucking 10 years ago.
yeah,
man.
yeah.
So like I wanted to desperately get out of hospo. Just because, like, not like I loved it. I fucking loved it. But like, I have my own proclivities. I have my own like, I know what I'm like with certain substances, and I had to like sort of regulate myself because I was seeing my lifestyle just fucking.
Were
Like,
you
you can't-
working bars?
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Like I was working. I was doing like some shit. Like I was doing like sommelier stuff. Like I worked with Woods of Windsor first,
Right.
but then I was working at Builder's Arms, just on Gertrude Street.
Yeah,
and I
okay,
was part of like the wine team and shit.
Oh, cool.
So, but like also late as fuck hours. I was trying to look for
yeah.
a way out of it, and
It's a dangerous part of the industry.
yeah. So I started.
I think the fancier you go, the more. Funnily, the more alcoholics you meet.
Yeah.
I guess because
I'm still friends with a bunch of bartenders and shit. Like now they're like venue managers and stuff. Like I know the dude that runs Lock and Key, and he's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
Like but yeah, I had to sort of take myself out of that situation. And on my way home, I used to always pass like the Improv Conspiracy, which is like close to Parliament Station, an improv theater company. And I started an improv, like everything, like stand up, like the hip hop scene that I've come into now, poetry. I just genuinely never knew. Like every time I'm jumping into something, it's almost like I'm seeing it for the first time, and I have a habit of just diving completely in. So
It's a good habit to have.
Like I said, man, I don't do well with modulation or moderation.
Yeah.
Potato. But yeah, no, I started with improv. I did a bit of sketch. I was doing like I was part of like some of the theater company teams, so we were putting on shows at the fucking theater as well. I was dating a girl at the time who was telling me like your written shit is really good. Like improv stuff is funny, but like your written shit, like you should give this a go.
Yeah.
So that relationship didn't last, but after I did my the very first gig I ever did.
Relationships come and go, but improv's forever.
Hell yeah, man. Stand up is forever. Jokes are for a couple of gags that they live on. When I'm in the ground and buried, fucking my rhymes and poems will stay in the hearts of people forever. That's what Banjo Patterson wanted.
It's worth the misery. It's worth the alcoholism.
BP.
Shout out BP.
Yeah.
He keeps coming up on this podcast.
BP podcast. That's what B stands for, actually. Banjo podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Banjo Petroleum. That's how we know.
He probably is by now, but you know.
He woos you with a sultry poem and then steals all your oil.
Yeah, big fan of
ruins
Banjo
your economy.
Petroleum or British Patterson. I like Banjo Petroleum. That's just so dumb. Yeah, no.
Stage name,
First ever gig I ever did was like, you know, the Raw comedy competition.
No.
It's like a nationwide open mic comedy competition.
Cool.
And there's like 10 heats in Melbourne. There's like heats all over the country, and you're all trying to see who like the top 10 like open micers are in the country. And
has that been televised before?
Yeah.
Is it like ABC?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, maybe I've
Yeah.
something like 10 years or maybe 10 or so years ago. Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah.
Was that the same one? Was it All Day did? Like the
Yeah.
rapper?
Rapper, I remember
He
that.
started off. I feel so smart right now. All Day was
It's your first time.
I know, right?
Roll with it.
All Day is an Australian rapper. He's got one song that I like. I can't remember any of his other songs. I can't even name the song.
voice
I can't
is
even
like
name
your
the song.
voice
but
is
like,
breaking out.
I know.
He's fanboying. He's fanboying.
This is what it's like to be a podcast host.
Yeah. He could do this all
I'm a
day.
bit congested. Shut up. The weather's bad. I just like so. No, I remember.
I just love All Day.
I looked him up and then I found like I was on YouTube. I'm like, I don't want to listen to this song
This is
again.
so cute.
Shut up, the both of you. I finally feel like I'm contributing. I'm actually bringing more to the topic. Anyway, there was. I don't know if he still performs, but All Day he actually I like looked him up on YouTube or something, and there was a 5-minute clip or whatever. I remember watching the show. It was like at 10:39 or something.
Yeah.
My whole family would go to bed, and I'd just sit up in the lounge room because. Whatever, and I'd watch it, and then All Day. I remember watching it, and he started off as a comic, and then obviously he was like, "Well, this isn't going nowhere." He got mid wherever he did, and then he just like, "Let's go."
Well, he made it to the national finals, which was televised, so that was big.
Yeah.
So like everyone's vying for that sort of last little spot. It's like if you're not in the comedy scene, it's probably like. All the comics are like everyone in the comedy scene knows about it. Yeah. Because it's like one of those industry things. But also you shouldn't give a fuck about it, to be honest.
I mean, I enjoyed it at the time.
Well, it's good fun. But like if you're doing comedy, the goal is to fucking write some good jokes and try and make people laugh. Anything else is a bonus. That's how I see it anyway. Yeah. But
just different pathways.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same. I'd say the same with music. Like there's ways you can. There's known ways people that you can see other people have gone up and see the way that they have blown up and you go, well, I could do that. If you find another way, fucking sweet. You shouldn't worry about it. But
so that was about 3.5 years ago. And ironically enough, it's kind of come full circle because I did my second ever Raw comedy gig this year.
Fuck yeah.
So it's like I had like some time to sort of grow from that first gig, which went okay, but like that was my first time I ever touched a microphone and tried to do gags.
Right.
You have 5 minutes.
okay.
I think I had like a mediocre 2. So
Sure.
it was wild. But then this time around, I was like, oh, this is sick. Ended up having a pretty good run. Like I ended up just missing out on the nationals. Had the state finals here. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool to be one of the people to watch in the state for comedy.
It's still like if you're first time touching the mic and to get to that point, that's a good little ego boost at the start to at least think.
God, you'd hope I've fucking improved. Otherwise, like, it's like this guy, nothing but lateral moves. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's my rap name, Lateral Movement. Yeah.
That's a great name, actually.
So how do you feel coming into the poetry scene and now like the difference in the way you're writing or the difference in way you're actually also the difference in way you're finding your delivery as a comic versus people who have strictly stayed poetry their entire time?
That is a good question.
It's a
Thanks
great
so
question.
much.
There we go.
How have I'll answer it separately. How have I found it? I found it kind of refreshing. Because I got into, like, I found, like, the hip-hop scene just before I found, like, the poetry scene.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shirey Ganglani for introducing the poetry scene. I had no idea this shit was happening.
Yeah.
But, like, I was talking to a person last night at Slammer, and they were like, because, like, they were asking that kind of like a similar question. And I described it like, do you know, like, the 5 mother sources? Like mole, bolognese, like béarnaise. Like these are the 5 mother sources. But then like based on which source you have, you got like the regional like variations on like these mother sources. So poetry to me kind of feels like the main mother source, and then like jokes and like rap are kind of like the regional varieties. They're a little bit more niche, and there's a little bit more rules to them. There's more like criteria around them, but it's all comes back to the mother source, which is poetry.
Yeah.
That's how I would sort of see it.
I think it's a great description.
I'm introducing that into my admin at the start of it. Welcome to poetry, the mother source of all linguistic expression. There we go, done.
Yeah.
I mean, just in terms of rules, basically, like there's no rules to comedy. There's no rules to rapping, but there is a certain expectation that like you better be rhyming, you better be in time, you better be in
rhyming and timing.
But with poetry, some people think it's very hoity-toity, highbrow kind of bullshit. But
those are the best ones. The ones that like sort of see poetry and they were like, no, it's an interpretive dance. Thank you very much.
Those people are the funny ones because they come like they say radio talk and I'm just like, what horrible neuro spicy hell have we gotten ourselves into? What the fuck is this? So they're like they just go up and then they're just in this room and then you can just see them. They're just like a massive fish out of water. I'm like, feel free you can join in or you can fuck off. Really, and it's sort of they come in like, I just want to check it out. I'm like, by all means check it out, and then they get gone within 30 minutes. I'm like, oh well, you miss it out.
It's daunting. Real human expression.
I will say this to the second part of your question though.
Sorry.
This is no, please don't apologize.
I was more of a
my mild autism was just still fixating on that one little part.
Mild. We're talking about mild.
Excuse me, I'm trying to get laid off this man.
This podcast does not have that effect.
You're talking to the wrong people.
Well aware, baby. No.
Anyway,
where's my African American pimp that I was always?
Sorry, you're quote unquote mild autism. Yes.
I actually don't. Like, I have a hard time if I say like, and it's kind of the same with like, because you and I know some of the rappers and stuff that do like the shot kickers things, and there's like this confliction.
I know one. I know a couple.
Well, there's this confliction inside of me, which is like, I want to be able to enjoy it a lot, but like, because of the same deal of like, I get anxious in a crowd, but also if there's someone that's spitting really fucking good, I get scared that I don't want to take on any influences from that person either. So it's like, I got to be careful about what I listen to if I know that someone's like spitting something. Because like, that's, when you're behind a microphone and you're spitting some shit out, like, If you're doing it like from the soul and stuff, and like someone gets inspired by that and they want to do the same, it can be like a clashing ideology. Like I'm obsessed with listening to
Interesting.
everyone's poems all the time and
Yeah.
shit. But at the same time, I'm deathly afraid if someone comes along that kind of shakes that tree a little bit too much. And I've met some like, do you know like Mono and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah,
love
yeah,
Mono. Like
Yeah.
He's a
he
beast when it comes to
freestyle. Yeah,
His freestyle is honestly scary. That's a.
I text him like jokes and like little rippity raps because we
Yeah.
have each other's numbers just to get like a rise out of him. Shit, like I fucking like genuinely love him. But he was
Yeah.
like, there was a time we were outside Shot Kickers and I was spitting some shit because I had some of the herb, and he just turns around and goes, "I'm so sorry. This is not meant to offend, but I genuinely don't listen to certain things sometimes, and it's not like a diss or anything." And I'm like, "This motherfucker." Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I know he didn't mean it like as like a hateful thing, so I was like, no, I get it. And like, so it's like when it comes to like other people sort of sharing the stage with me, I do try and like watch as much as I can from like all the other speakers and stuff as well. But like, please never take any offense if I just sort of like leave outside to just sort of decompress.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care enough for people to watch them what they're doing, so it's fine. Also, I've faced it the other way. No, no, I like that point though. Yeah, you know, I think I do that too. It's like taking on board. You're listening and watching and that kind of stuff, and taking on board and watching what people do, and then either implementing that or altering it for your own like kind of performances or words and that kind of stuff. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Interesting thought though, like of being in a space where so like in the world of rap,
All that laugh. Yep. There we
in the
go.
world of rap, like I've been doing rap for a little while, but then I started spending time with rappers and my style changed to be more
Weird.
less weird.
Oh, okay. Less
I
weird.
think it's come back. I think
yeah.
now I'm
it's
back to
fucking
being
weird,
weirder as possible.
Yeah.
That's good. When you're going into the weird thing, that's like, no, I'm sticking to like my voice now.
Yeah.
Because like that's the risk of like you don't want your voice to be like, you know, it's like do you know the thing Theseus's ship, the thought experiment? It's like Theseus's ship.
Oh yeah.
It's the one where like a ship comes back shipwrecked and it's missing a lot of parts and shit, and it was called Theseus's ship, and they hadn't found that ship in ages. But then they rebuilt it with a completely whole different set of parts. But then, if that's the case, does it really mean that that's still Theseus's ship? So it's kind of like if you're taking a lot of influence from a lot of different people, does
Is
it
that
really end
your
up being
thing?
your
Yeah,
voice?
right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it can be
totally
very
valid.
easily swayed when you're in a space like Shotkickers is a good example because Shotkickers is so much energy in the room because there's so many performers who are about to hop on stage, and if you want to perform, you have to actually get in line up to the stage, and
That
you have
would
hype
I'd be
yourself up.
so yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird
I'd want
feeling.
to just be like, because when they Mono used to do dojo at Blue Bay, it was basically just like, and it was less of a line. It was kind of sort of there was
More a
supposed to be a
semicircle,
line, quote unquote line, but it was more just hop up and then kind of it was a bit more. It was a bit less formal. And I'm like, if I was ever going to do that, it would just be like spur of the moment, just go, oh shit, hand up sort of thing, or whatever, just jump on. Whereas if I'm in line, just going. Waiting, and I see one person, I'm like, okay, they're going to spit whatever it is, whatever they get. And like, oh, the next person goes, and I'm fifth in line, and I'm like, so I'll just be person behind me going, no, you go.
Yeah.
That's why Kickers is pretty cool because you got like the live band that's
Yeah.
on stage doing
Yeah.
their shit and 4 microphones, like 3 or 4 microphones up, and like I get into the, I'm kind of stereotypical, man. It's almost like it's it's like I just think thought of it. I'm just like, guys are kind of that's a bit wanky. It's like literally like 8 Mile style, like hands in my pockets, like coming down. It's like psyching myself up to the beat and like trying to get the tempo so that when I hit like the tempo, I can come in and start freestyling. And like it's cool. Like there's some weeks that I go in, fucking rip it. Other weeks I come in, but like fucking tank it. But
Yeah.
like that's part of the fucking game.
Yeah.
Like it's like you are gonna eat shit sometimes. The more you do it, the less it happens.
Yeah.
That's like with anything.
yeah.
Of course.
So
But then again, I just don't want to eat shit.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm like, part of me is like, well, no one.
it's
End of the
also
day, no one's
very
gonna.
taxing. It's very taxing.
Well, yeah, because it depends on what you're trying to achieve. Like in that particular environment, if you're freestyling, like you're trying to say some dope shit, but at the same time, like it is about the audience. Like that is a space where I feel sort of similar to comedy in a sense of like you can be really artsy and unique and weird with your comedy, but you're gonna have to. That's gonna take you a lot longer to find your niche crowd that goes with your niche style. And same with freestyle rap. They're here to see.
They're here to experience a vibe and be
yeah, and they
entertained
kind of
more
know
than-
what rap sounds like. So
Yeah.
it's like if you sound totally different to that, they'll be like, I don't know if this is our guy.
It goes also to slam on competitions with
Yeah,
judging.
yeah.
I was sitting next to Shy yesterday, and we're just sort of I've done it so much, and I'm like listening to people perform, and I was like, you can kind of tell, like, oh, this is not going to
It was not
going to.
was.
It was like, I think every lineup now is pretty strong, but you can kind of just like, you never know. Sometimes I can kind of predict what the judge is going to do after a couple of poets, but it's sort of like what they're expecting to hear from someone, and that kind of thing. Like if you're reading off poetry, if you're reading off a phone, if you fuck up a couple of words, a judge usually goes, well, why are you fucking up? You've got the words right there. And then they usually, in that mind, the sort of thing, it's
just randoms in the crowd that they pick.
Yeah, they try to pick people that don't know you don't know performers. So obviously there's no bias there. And then it's basically try to get people that have been there for the first time and just be like, so that's the only thing about that is you could have someone there who's very cynical and they're there for a very specific type of poetry.
Yeah.
And then you might have had two people that hated rhyming, but they and they go, okay, well that's 7 because that's rhyming kind of thing. You just don't know. Yeah.
There's obviously a style to slam that does well. There's a particular style that you can pretty much guarantee. No.
Perfect for talking.
That you can guarantee that like when you hear it, you're like, okay, they're at least going to do baseline well. They might not win it, but who knows? But then, and so you hear people come through with a quite an alternative style, like that might do well at an open mic. I'm not sure if it's going to win Slammer. And I was actually interested though to see, because I really like your style, but you can hear that you're a comic. And I like that a lot because it immediately gives you a different timbre to your voice, to the way you deliver. You don't hit the slammer style. And then to actually see you progress all the way through all 3 rounds, I was like, oh, this is actually great. I was actually worried that like, is he slam poetry enough though? You know?
Yeah, but that
Slam
slam voice is starting to peter out a little bit.
Okay.
If you noticed last night, there was probably 3 out of the 10 that had that stereotypical slam sort of thing, and everyone else was still doing poetry, and there was less of that poetic voice, which is just, people. And I don't really. I mean, I've been doing it for a while now. I don't have really that. I think I do, and then I hear it back. I'm like, I didn't hit.
Yeah.
I just sound like what I sound like. But I think, it's at least with poetry, it's that slam, that American slam style is less
prominent
now than except in America. And then saying like Tej getting all 9s for his first poem. Poem stuff with that comedic timbre you were saying, like it's showing that people are open to
more things. That's a beautiful thing.
It's lovely.
Man.
It's gorgeous.
I wonder if we are. Yeah, I feel like we're probably also in a good golden age of moving through mediums, moving through different styles and stuff like that.
There's a lot of people sort of like crisscrossing worlds right now. And you're seeing like what that kind of looks like coming out. Like the way, because like it was interesting the way you were talking about sort of rap and poetry and like to bring it back to that. Because like I focus on like freestyling at Kickers more so, not so much for the words, but so much for like, but more for like the flow and the cadence.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So it's like getting into like a rhythm is sick, and then poetry is like all words.
Yeah.
So it's like what's like I'm trying to make a couplet that's got at least like 1 or 2 jokes in it. So I got to try some shit out, and then like jokes, like comedy is kind of like the culmination of the two. But like you kind of can do like. It's this exact same muscle, but it's just being flexed in a different ways. It's like the Triforce of.
And when you come back to your poetry, it is definitely strengthened by doing the freestyling.
Yeah.
There's
I'm seeing some like I'm seeing like because I've got like jokes and shit that I got to try out in front of like a shitload of people.
Yeah.
And like there is like some rhyming and stuff in it, and like some of the comics will pick it up. Crowd, they don't really pick it up, but like
that's
it's
fun
almost
to be subtle.
It's a subliminal thing. Like people like one of the rhymes that I did last night. Like was like the first song I ever learned was row 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 your boat.
Yeah.
It's like when you grow up on nursery rhymes, and that's like rhymes as given as like a way to soothe the calming child. Like it's ingrained into us as people that like rhyming is just fun.
Yeah.
It's also the same as like this is getting really nerdy, but things like the letters B and K sound more like there's more of a comedic punch with words that either start or end with B or K. It's a
I can
full
see
thing.
that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I
Like
can see that.
there's also like there's a lot of weird little rules. It's like if it's too cold outside, then you might have like a really good night. If it's too hot outside, like the crowd might not sort of loosen up as much because people are sweating and shit.
Yeah.
It's like all these variables that you really just start thinking about, which is cool. Like, and this is like I love doing this because it's low ceilings, so the sound travels across very well, and it's also very cozy and like it feels like. If you get like a fucking almost like a rug, but like you can't because this turns into like a dance venue and shit.
Yeah.
But it would literally
Yeah, we
just
have
come
thought
out.
about a rug before.
Yeah.
But then we're like, no.
One of those big
There
yellow
you go.
ones and have people like sit down like school children.
We used to have people sitting down the first iterations of it. On that point, we might start setting up for that night.
Fun,
Oh,
fun, fun.
now you segue. We're
Now
gonna finish.
I'm fucking segue
Oh, we're gonna
into
finish.
let's wrap it up, baby. Because I think
feel
that's
like
really.
all I've been doing is wrapping it
I
up.
think that.
Oh,
I think
gross.
that
Gross.
that cross pollination between different styles and different mediums is a great place to end.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
Thanks so much, Tej, for coming on and hanging out.
Oh,
and
thanks for having me, man.
You're gonna put his links in the description.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I always forget. so-
Right.
Feels like a power move.
No,
Right there.
Ryan always
Maybe.
comes in hot and he goes, all right, everyone, well, the link's going to be a description of everyone, and then every time he just forgets.
I actually don't think I forget nearly as often as I say I do. Yeah, links are definitely in description.
Music by
forward to-
Sixpence.
Beautiful.
Thank you all.
Sixpence is fun. He's a good
so-
dude. I met him recently as well.
Oh, he's
Fucking
an
talented.
insane producer, insane rapper.
Yeah, so good.
I mean,
he's a
work
good
with
boy.
him as well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Thank you.
have fun. Tip your waiters. I don't know.